Welcome back to LatiNation. I'm your host, Humberto Guida. Electro cumbia duo Ondatropica has been taking the music industry by storm. What started out as jam sessions between friends who already had their own musical groups already established turned into something bigger after the release of their first record received critical acclaim by media outlets around the world. Now Ondatrópica releases Baile Bucanero, an album recorded in Providence Island, a former British colony now part of Colombia. And it's a record full of history and musical mastery, which you'll get a taste of right here on LatiNation. Sessions is presented by McDonald's.
Hi, my name is Mario Galeano from Ondatrópica.
And I'm Will Holland.
Well, Ondatropica is a project that we started around 5 years ago. The idea behind of Ondatropica is basically a collective of musicians from all types of places, ages that meet.
We're both musicians and DJs, and we wanted to make a record with kind of our idols at the time. Well, still, you know, working with a lot of tropical music from Colombia and a lot of musicians and artists from the 70s and 60s and even from the 1950s, that musicians that we really looked up to, and they were kind of a little bit lost, not musically, but like on a national scale, they would kind of fallen out of focus. So we really wanted to work with those musicians, and it's it's a dream come true.
Promotion, woman in trouble. She asks for half, but they give her double. Promotion, beats her down.
According to the way the music business works today, it's kind of like a suicide to have a project where you're like, everyone's living in a different city, everyone's like so different interests and stuff. But I guess that's the strong point of Ondatropica, is that it shows like such a broad amount of styles, and that's been one of the strong points of the project, is just to show the diversity behind it.
So we have a new record released. It's called Baile Bucanero. It's our second record, and we kind of took a different strategy with this record, because part of the way the project works is kind of a constantly sort of moving band. There's a lot of different elements and a lot of different personalities and people. So we wanted to do a recording in the Caribbean this time, in an island called Providence.
It's an island very particular because it has like a English background. It was settled by the British, and eventually it ended up in Colombian hands. They listened to music from Jamaica, from Trinidad, and from Colombia, and from Panama, and all over the place. So we thought it would be a very good example of what we wanted to do, was just like approaching this diversity again, which is like a theme that constantly runs through Ondatropica.
In the first thing, to be honest, it's just about bad things that, like, when you hear them, no one can stand still, and that's what Ondatropica has always been about from the start, and we tried to do that with the second record too. I think this project has been very special for us because we've been able to tour around the world with, not only on a personal level, but sort of socially and on a group level. It's been beautiful to tour. You know, we started touring with 12 people, and the oldest guy was like 83. When
you see us touring, it's like the weirdest mix of people, and it became something really beautiful to be able to share with like the older musicians. Because it's not only the playing, you know, it's like when you're driving a cab, when you're having breakfast and they tell you the stories, and just to exchange this on a personal level, it's quite beautiful. The project was born out of like a love for tropical music from South America, and more, you know, as like these old generations disappear of this music, it's more pertinent that we keep playing this music. Like, we've been DJing a lot recently on tour to promote this record, and one thing is that people come out because they can't hear that music anywhere else. And I would say that's the most satisfying thing, you know, knowing that you have done something that inspired you to do again something else, you know, so I think.